Hello, Key Biscayne. It is Wednesday, November 18th, 2015. This is your No One's Listening show. I'm your host, Rafa. To my left is Griff.
Good evening.
His left is Anna.
Hi.
And to her left is Manny.
Hello, Rafa. How's everybody doing tonight?
I think we're doing pretty good. Pretty good.
All right.
All right, weekend talk. Oh, wait. So I brought my uke so that when we do like the intros to the segments, I can go. Weekend talk.
Yeah, we like it. I like it, at least.
Dude, I love that. That is so nice. Does
It'll
every
get better.
segment get its own chord?
Yeah.
Its own strum?
Oh, yeah.
That
I'm going to
lot.
switch it up. I need to make little
Do you
jingles.
have chords for each segment?
Okay, something that you guys don't know is that the No One's Listening show started like in 2003. Okay, this was a thing that me and Alex Battle did when the original days of the radio, and that's where the name came from. Then I resurrected the name like in 2010 when I started doing it again. But we wrote a little jingle for the intro to the show, which I lost.
Tell me you remember it.
I remember it perfectly. It was based off the song Coffee and TV by Blur.
Yeah.
And so a little bit of that would play, and then we went, "This is the Rat Radio, no one's listening show." And then we would harmonize the ahs at the end. It was really nice.
We need to get him
Wow.
on.
Yeah. And
What,
so
is Alex the talent in that duo, Anna?
he remembers it. Oh, he's definitely more talented.
I mean, he's, pretty talented.
He's very
not
talented.
to say that
Rafa's
Rafa's
not
not.
bad
Rafa's
either.
really
I've seen
talented
Rafa.
also. But Al is,
I like it, Rafa. Okay, so great idea. Great idea.
Okay, so who wants to go first?
The weekend.
You guys want me to go first? Okay.
Yes, we do.
Friday. There's not much action. My phone is silent. I'm beginning to worry, get antsy. Why is nobody calling me? I want to go out. So then I find out that some guys are going to the wet lab. So I'm like, all right, perfect, going to the wet lab. It's actually Gman. Gman, his girlfriend, Boston, was here. They took a boat cruise to the wet lab. And then by the time I'm going to go meet them, he's like, everybody got antsy, and now we're going back. And he was like, it had been 45 minutes. I was like, no, yeah.
Is that why you guys didn't go?
Yeah.
Well, actually, that's great because G-Man isn't here tonight,
So we can rag
know
on
his
him.
weekend Friday night. So nice work, Rafa. Way to work G-Man and Boston in.
So they hung out at the yacht club, and I didn't want to do that. So I was like, what do we do? I asked Griff. He's like, I'm not doing anything either. So then I said, why don't we go to Novecento, where we can, if it sucks, it's super easy to leave. It's like it's not going all the way out to the wet lab and then being disappointed. So we go over there. We have a drink. We have some empanadas or something.
Very nice.
We have maybe 2
900's
drinks.
nice. That's an adult bar.
Griff.
dude.
Well, I'll let Griff tell this part about the new something that you showed me that day. Remember?
What?
You came in it.
That's awkward.
Wow.
Jesus
I don't remember.
Where we're going.
Okay, you showed up
sorry.
in the parking lot. Take me out.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, my wife got a new car.
Yeah.
Oh.
A new Mini Cooper.
Yeah. And so he showed me that. So we go back in, we hang out, and then it's like, hey, wait, there's live music at Artisan. So let's walk to Artisan, So we walk down there, sit down. These guys want to munch. They munch a little bit. We drink some wine. We drink some. Is it raining?
Yeah.
We drink a little wine. We hear the band. We hang out outside with some people that Gatto and Griff knew. And then we went to the Ritz chasing more live music.
And that's where I come in, so I don't have to tell the story again. I joined them at this point.
Okay, tell it from there.
Oh, nah. Went to the Ritz. There was a live band. I didn't really. That was not my favorite thing, but I had a really good martini at the bar. Props to, what's his name?
Alex?
Alex, the bartender. Yeah.
I've seen that Friday night thing at the Ritz in the lobby. They bring a Cuban band.
Yeah.
And, actually, I heard that they have professional dancers that come.
Really?
So it's, they try to keep it like authentic.
Like pretty.
They do. They definitely do.
If you're a tourist here in Miami,
Yeah.
coming here, staying on the Key, give Rafa a call because he knows the bar hopping scene. He's already
He just came
been
bar
all
hopping.
around.
Well, actually, I went because you were always hyping 900, so I was like, let's start there because
I
there's
like
some action
Novecento
there.
I like 900. I like it. I
I do
like it
too.
because you can, like you said, Rafa, you can be walking around, and then, you can walk by right in front and see who's sitting there at the bar, sitting
Yeah.
in the restaurant. 900 has something, I've said it many times, that any successful place in the Key needs to have, that like the Ibis doesn't have, Keyhole doesn't have,
Yeah.
is that it has to be family friendly. So, you go to a place and you see that you don't know who you're going to run into.
Yeah.
Because people could be there on their own, or
Yeah.
they could be there with their family, or they could be there with their family and stay on their own after, or bring their family and meet them, or
I went once with Rafa, and we ran into Michelle Ricault and ended up staying there for hours drinking.
You saw him, right?
And, like,
you walked by.
He was in there, and we sat next to him, and then we ended up having drinks, and Al Serrano passed by, had a drink with him. It was nice.
Well, they have a nice happy hour as well at 900. I think it's a 2-for-1 type thing.
Nice.
It's a great bar. It's a great bar.
So
Friday night, I went to a surprise birthday party, and I was charged with getting the birthday person there. So that was fun, and we pulled it off.
Yeah.
But it just started too early, and it kind of went too late, and
saucy.
it ruined Saturday. Saturday was a Ray Donovan binge watch day. Have you seen the new season?
No.
no,
Really good. Ray Donovan, you know the story. Showtime. You seen it? Very good show. Check it out. South Boston guy who's a fixer in L.A., Hollywood, L.A. He's a fixer. So Saturday was a rough day, and then it was too bad because I had a great party on Saturday night. It was the Havana Yacht Club, big party at Riviera, 700 people.
Wow.
I mean,
Wow.
you walk in there, and if you're Cuban, you walk in there, and it's just like the Cuban Hall of Fame. It's like all the families
That's awesome.
that the Macias, the Mayors, the Mendozas, just one after the other that you've known, and your parents have known, and your grandparents have known, your great-grandparents know each other, and your kids know each other. It's like 5 generations that have known each other.
Yeah.
So that was pretty cool. I didn't have a drink that night while I was there. And
No.
I was back home by midnight.
I had a great
Saturday
time,
night.
and I didn't even have anything to drink.
It was great.
That's cool.
That was my weekend.
Oh wow! Look, we got a special guest in the studio.
Hang on.
We got a special guest in the studio. It's Austin Tellum, good friend of the show, good friend of everybody
Tell
here.
him everything. Congratulations.
Just got
buddy.
back from his
Austin, congrats.
There's some ice right there in that bucket outside if you like.
Congrats.
Austin just got back from his honeymoon. I hope he'll tell us something about that, and maybe something
yeah.
about, I don't know, what it feels like to be married a weekend and all
You're
that stuff.
married.
Wait, Austin, you're not wearing a ring anymore? What? Oh, there it is. Okay.
And I have a microphone for you here.
Just walked in
I do have to
studio
say
with a ring
for
on.
weekend talk, I was pretty surprised because going to Artisan and going to Novecento, they're totally different atmospheres. And at Artisan, it was great because it had like this Venezuelan vibe. They had a great band, and a good community feel. A lot of kids. So it's something always to look into. I think they have live bands. I think it's Friday nights. Great place. Totally
Artisan
different.
actually has live bands also on the weekends. You go there for brunch on a Sunday,
Oh,
and
really?
they have music there.
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
That's
really
awesome.
nice.
That's
How
awesome.
about you, Austin? What'd you do for the weekend? I know you were probably posting pictures on Facebook over the weekend.
No Facebook posts this weekend.
No more. They've been amazing.
Got home from a short honeymoon on Saturday, and there's no place better to come home to than
Where'd you go?
we went to the Bahamas, and we did a short swing by La Habana.
Oh,
Wow,
cool.
I want to hear about that.
That's cool, Austin.
Was it cool or what?
Yeah.
Yeah, we have mixed feelings about it. There was the poverty was a lot more severe than we were expecting, and you can tell it was a beautiful place, but a lot of crumbling buildings and a lot of very underprivileged Cubans still there. So
I hear it's super depressing. But you have to get into like the music or the food or
To be able
out
to
the beach or
appreciate the
something.
culture.
Yep. No, I mean the food is really good. The music is amazing. The people are really, really friendly, but
But it always feels kind of like you're exploiting them just because you're doing so well over there while they're.
Basically,
Yeah.
Is that kind of the feeling?
I mean, it's more of a feeling of guilt that
yeah.
that you're extremely, extremely privileged and for no other reason than pretty much being born here. So
And so close.
Hopefully things are going to change there in our lifetime.
and
significantly.
you don't like the feeling of like throwing your money around and pretending that it's a weird feeling. You want to help the people there. We left a couple suitcases full of clothes that
Good.
Yeah.
people really appreciated, and Some
That's
really,
great.
really
I'm
nice
happy
people.
you say that because I've heard that people. I was going to say, but I heard people go there and they bring an extra suitcase of stuff that it's not even closed. Stuff like, toilet paper, soap,
Toothpaste.
Hygiene stuff,
Yeah.
and leave that. So you left your clothes there. Wow.
Yeah, we left a suitcase filled with a bunch of clothes that we could do without, and yeah, it's true. The pharmacies, there's nothing on the shelves in the pharmacies, and yeah.
Well, Austin, thanks for bringing the show down, man.
Yeah.
But the honeymoon was awesome.
No, but it's important because especially now that it's easier for people to go. You see all these people posting pictures and it's this beauty and whatever, but the reality is that there's a huge problem there, and we're only starting to be able to, be more part of it. But even like magazine covers, everybody's exploiting it and taking advantage of the nostalgic feeling there, when really it's what Austin is describing.
Yeah.
And, like Rihanna's on the cover of Vogue or whatever in Havana, and they use the colors for the dress, and it's so beautiful. And everybody says they want to go there, and it's all this like money, but the reality is what you're saying.
I mean, it's cool to go if you can open your eyes and see what else is actually there, because there is some definitely beauty there. But I mean, if you like to go and kind of feel like you're in the local crowd, like I like to do when I travel, and not just get led around by tour guides, and it's a different vibe.
How was the wedding? How was the wedding in hindsight? Now that you've had time to digest, I told the story of what I did while I was out there last week.
He told a little story about you one time.
Taking off his shirt. That's what I remembered.
The wedding was perfect in hindsight. I mean, the place is unbelievable, like nothing in the Bahamas.
Great people, great place,
amazing
great weather,
people,
just...
great vibe. It's really, really a special place, and we had a special group of people there, and it was perfect. I wouldn't change a thing.
Awesome. So good to hear, Austin. That's amazing.
And I got some late night pizza after an amazing buffet that we had. So
that's when you know.
Gotta love the Bahamian pizza.
Mr. KFC.
Cool.
Is Weekend Talk over?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I guess it is, right?
Yeah.
No, I didn't go yet.
You know what? Oh, you want to?
You met up with them at the Ritz.
Yeah, that's it. On Saturday, I did a bookbinding class. I just want to say that. It's really cool.
Tell us about it.
It's really cool. But obviously, there's so much more to learn. But in 2 hours, I learned a little bit. But no one talked about the debate Saturday night. No one did that.
I read that they did it on Saturday night purposefully because who the hell is going to watch a debate on a Saturday night?
I fell asleep. I had been day drinking with my mom on Saturday, so by 9 p.m. I was like...
The only debates worth watching are the ones, really, let's face it.
With Donald Trump and them?
Trump. Of course.
I mean, even
what's he going to do?
For now,
what's
yes.
the over-under
later,
on him pulling his pants down and doing the full Monty on the next debate? I mean, what's the over-under? How many is it going to take for him to do that?
I want Trump to be perpetually running for president.
I know.
I just want him
It's
all the
you
time.
and every late-night talk show.
It's so funny.
Well, and Sunday we all hung out again.
Oh, yeah. And we made playlists for the radio,
And
which
some
we're going to do.
B&Bs.
Griff's going to have his own jazz and bossa nova hour, which is ready to go for this week.
Wow.
And I haven't picked out a time yet, but I'll post it somewhere. It
and
might
it's
be
called...
There's no name yet.
Johnny's Jazz
I
Hour.
think I like the name of it.
John.
Griff's Bossa Nova Hour.
Yeah.
That's what Jonathan wanted. We wanted it to be a little bit more
I didn't know. I didn't know it was weekend talk. Sorry, I wasn't familiar with the
You don't
process.
listen?
But before going to Havana, we spent a couple nights in Eleuthera, right when the tropical storm went by, and there were some amazing waves on Surfers Beach in Eleuthera, which surfing in the Bahamas is something I've always wanted to do,
That's
and it was
the place to do it.
perfect conditions. It was amazing.
Did you do it?
Nice.
Yeah, it was.
Oh, wow.
It was
Cool.
awesome.
I want to see those pictures.
Yeah, those pictures are
Put them up.
stunning.
Put them up. That's great.
Cool.
All right, moving on.
Jam
We'll
it out.
go to what are you listening to?
All
All right, what are you guys listening to?
Just to get it going, I was listening to a little Miles Davis, obviously on Sunday, as we were doing these playlists, and a great song is "Summertime" by Miles Davis.
All right.
I coughed a little bit.
So good.
Nice.
I, all day, because every day it changes, I've been listening to the Quotidian Beasts, Phosphorescent. It's a song that I sent to Al when he had moved out to LA, and to Danny DB, so they could learn it, so we could play it and sing it together, but we haven't done that yet. So if they're listening, please Get on that.
What was the name of the song again?
Phosphorescent, the Quotidian Beasts.
Cool.
Really cool. And good for the radio.
Rafa, I don't know the name of this song, but I know the band, and I've been listening to it. This song's been in my mind. It's last week's show.
Yeah!
That's sick.
Are you kidding me?
Shout out to Arturo and Jesse. That's awesome. It's so
Beautiful,
good.
man. You know where to find it. Ratradio.net.
Oh, man.
It's been in my mind, too. I'm
If
not
you
gonna
missed
lie.
the show last week, 90s Color was on, the band from the corner, who we went to go see yesterday.
We saw it yesterday.
Only Arturo was there, but it was cool.
It was very
And
cool.
Rafa, you're going to find the name of the song for me, for us, for everybody. So when you
They
post it.
said it, but I don't remember.
Did they? It's probably on the recording then.
Yeah.
And we're gonna have more of these live bands coming in and playing while at the end of the show. I've got a couple kind of like semi lined up, but
Well, that's me. That's my West listening. I know that I haven't brought it for the last
3 shows.
35 weeks, but
no, you had last week's was good. So I've been listening to a bunch of stuff, trying to get these playlists in order. But today I was listening to Collie by Slightly Stoopid over and over and over again because I really like it. And
There
you know,
are some slightly stupid songs that you could just listen over and over.
And so Slightly Stupid's a band from Long Beach, California. 1992, I think they started. And they got really popular like in 2001, 2002.
are they like a skate punk type?
They started
band?
they started as a kind of like a ska punk kind of band, and they transitioned into what I would call like almost like a folky. It's not folk, but you want to like a Long Beach take on folk. I don't know.
They're pretty cool.
Yeah, they're cool.
They play once a year, like near Miami.
Austin, you have any songs you've been listening to lately?
What was
Let's see. We went.
What was your
What's
first
your wedding
dance?
song?
Yeah, what was your
What's
first
the wedding
dance?
song? What's the go-to song for you guys?
Uh-oh, his face is not.
Roy Orbison, Anything You Want, You Got It. An oldie, but a goodie.
Nice.
So
Great start.
yeah, it was pretty nice.
Tell them.
One of our favorites.
Awesome.
And I don't know. Mary's a big fan of hip hop, so she strictly prohibited the DJ from playing much cheesy wedding music, and
Good.
we had a little bit of Stevie S, some good hip hop, and of course La Bamba, one of my favorites.
Yeah,
That's good. That was you, Griff, right?
He went Miles Davis.
I went with Miles Davis.
Oh, that's right.
yeah. Okay, moving on. We're going to do the Talk of the Town. We could talk about that, but let me do our little intro here, too. So this is Talk of the Town. Whoop. Whoop. Fuck. Forgot it.
Get on it, Rob.
Talk of the Town.
Wow,
All right.
I like that.
That was the Beatles.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I recognize it.
Talk of the Town. Let's start off with, this is amazing. The KB Women's Club is selling pecans, and if you want some pecans, you can contact, I forgot the number, I did this last week. Anyway, Manny, tell us the development of what happened with the pecans.
We talked about it last week. We talked about the pecans, and we said, we mentioned to the audience out there that please send some pecans. I mean, if you have any, and send them
We'd
over.
like
and
to
we'll
review
love to
them on
review
the show.
Lo and
And
behold, I was on my way to the show tonight, left my apartment over there in the Garden District, and
you need a little tune for every time he says Garden District. Ding, ding.
everyone has to take a sip every time. So I get to my golf cart, and there's a little bag there in my golf cart with a note and this little package, and it says, "To my favorite island activist and talk radio co-host." Rafa, I guess we're all co-hosts in here.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yes.
One day you're going to be real host.
I've got 200 pounds of these pecan beauties being sold out of my house, and just like Rat Radio, it's a secret location. Only my UPS driver, and now you, know where that is. Here's how I serve them. Sweet and spicy. First batch of the season for you and your pals at Rat Radio.
I got to say, these are phenomenal.
2 thumbs up.
They're just amazing.
get in contact with the KV Women's Club and buy these things. They are really good. Be a perfect thing to serve at your next cocktail.
I'm eating it with. I'm drinking wine right now. I could eat some cheese and pecans also. Maybe even beer. With the wine, it's going really well.
Perfect to grab a little handful and put them in a bowl and put it on your wooden platter that you serve whatever other tasty things with.
And they're
Especially for the
fresh.
holidays.
You can feel it. They're fresh.
Very
Yeah,
nice.
these are really good. I can't believe that somebody heard our show and now we have pecans. What else can we ask for, guys?
We welcome other surprises.
They're delicious.
Awesome.
Thank you very much, whoever cooked them.
What else should we ask for?
Only what we need, really.
You're right.
Pecans.
Only what we need.
It's not greedy.
Only what
Yeah.
we need.
It's our first experience with this. That's
You know
why.
what? I'm going back to pecans.
Fame is going
We're
to your
not
head
saying pecans
already.
anymore?
I'm done with pecans.
Damn it! I thought we were good
I'm
with
in
pecans.
South Florida, calling them pecans.
Well, thanks for the pecans.
Yeah, thank you very much. I'm going to have to stop eating them here. We
Yeah.
won't, the show's over. You know.
Yeah.
They're really good, though.
We all have a little handful.
Help yourself. Here they are.
They're so good.
Thanks again out there.
All right. Just got a message from Gman.
Oh.
He wants us to mention that he got first in his category at the Lighthouse Run.
Yay!
Him and his girl, did you say?
And a girl.
What do you mean? And Boston, too?
Mentioned the lady and I finished first amongst Key Biscayers in our category 25 through 29-year-olds.
He's not 30?
Congratulations.
Well, hey, G-Man, congratulations. And that's the last year you run in that category, I think, isn't it?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. He turns 30 on Friday, I think.
What?
Yeah. The day before Matt's wedding.
Day after.
No, the day of
No.
Matt's wedding.
This Friday.
It's actually the day of.
the day of?
Good
so,
to know.
so G-Man's birthday is on Saturday.
Oh.
I guess he's lucky Andy Blanco turned 30 last year, right?
Why is that?
Sweeping that category
Andy's
for a while.
been 30 for a while.
I think
huh?
He's been sweeping that category for a while.
Andy might have won his category.
Him and-
too,
him
you
and
tell me,
Vic.
though.
Oh, winning that in the race?
I've seen Andy running in the bushy area when I'm like going to work. Yeah, you know?
All right.
Those are good
Um,
pecans, huh?
I know, I need to stop eating
Yeah,
that.
it's good.
Delish.
So let's talk
Spicy.
a couple of quick things here that I have written down for the news or talk to the town. The Village Green Crandon crossing got a pedestrian signal, or it was being installed November 3rd. You would push a button and the street lights up. I don't think it's started yet.
Wait,
This is to cross
Where?
I
Crandon
hate
at
that
Heather.
thing. That's so lame.
that's where. No, that was Brad Newsom's project.
Yeah.
Oh, never mind. It's awesome.
I almost got hit crossing Crandon to the Winn-Dixie yesterday by some guy.
Where? At Sunrise?
Yeah, at Sunrise.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
On the
I get out
crosswalk,
there.
and that one's painted with lines and everything.
Yeah.
And
But
you know
like-
the drivers get mad at you for going.
No.
Yeah, they get mad at you because
Yeah.
they're like,
They get mad at me.
they
at
see
Brickell.
you crossing and they're like, you should have waited for me, and so they kind of speed by you as fast as they
We
can.
had this conversation last night in my car, if I'm not mistaken. I think
We probably had it, but not last night.
we had this conversation. If I'm maybe it wasn't you. If I'm going and I see that there's no cars behind me and I'm going like 30 because that's the speed limit, and someone wants to cross, please wait till I keep going 30 and pass because there's no one behind me. You're gonna be able to cross. So the whole lighting up thing, it's like let's work together here. I'm not gonna stop if there's no one behind me. It takes 2 seconds for my car to pass by you at 30, and then you can cross.
So what you're saying is,
Let's work together.
Let's put the speed on Crandon to 15.
Damn it, no!
Yes, Manny.
I have a
Or
great
whatever.
way.
I could be going 15. It just, please, there's no car behind me. It takes a lot more energy for me to stop my car,
This-
you cross, and then I go.
And I have a cure for that. Yeah, that right there that you're feeling. And
That
smashing,
rage?
Yeah, that rage. I have a cure for that.
Woke up.
Try this tomorrow when you leave. I do this every morning
Okay.
when I'm taking my kids to school in the golf cart or whatever. And even when I'm driving in the morning, when people are most in a hurry.
Yeah.
I try to see how many pedestrians, bikes, skateboards, cars, carts, whatever, that I see at an intersection, I can let go first. I give them no, you go.
You go.
And
when I'm in
then-
a good mood, I do.
And then the smiles are infectious, man. People,
That's true.
I'm telling you, it's a great way to start your day.
Oh,
And
look,
it's a
you
great
just
way
made
to
Anna
finish your day.
I because I don't know if it was this morning or today. I don't know when this happened, but this one lady was waiting to cross the road and nobody was letting her by. Okay.
Yeah,
And
because
she
they're all
was-
thinking there's a guy behind me.
Exactly.
And
They were all
going
thinking
30
my
together.
attitude. but she was smiling anyway. And I was like, lady, you go ahead. Like, you're smiling.
And then what happened?
I got all happy.
And then how did she? I mean, you saw her happy, and you felt
and
happy.
I felt happy.
You felt happy. And
but I do think, I don't know, I do think that, like, we need to work together.
That's working together.
If there
right
are cars behind me, of course I'm going to stop, because either way, there's like, you know, whatever. I don't like the lights. I think it's aesthetically ugly.
Yeah, it's only when you push them. When you push the button.
Hopefully no one pushes it, because if you've seen them on Brickle, it's really ugly. Flash.
Try my strategy.
People stop for them.
Yeah.
At least I've seen that in the Grove. You stop for them because you see them flashing suddenly, and you're like, oh.
Yeah.
It's the law. You have to stop.
That's the other thing is that the law
Put a
says
car
that the
there.
pedestrian
Yeah,
is allowed to go in that spot.
The,
Yes.
the stop signs over there on the Sunrise side are this big. Have you seen them? I mean, they're on the other
Really?
side of the street. They're tiny, and it says stop if there's a pedestrian. It's way far away.
Yeah.
You know, so that's not effective.
So let me ask you something, Anna, just to get into this. I'm crossing the street, right? And so I got to clear, and I'm starting to cross.
Yeah.
But then I'm like halfway in, and now there's
And then I'm
suddenly,
passing by.
then now there's a car coming. Do I have to stop in that little
No, you keep
dinky
walking.
like halfway point? Like, oh god.
Oh, that little island?
Or should I have to? You don't even get to step on it. Like you're kind of in the middle there, and then suddenly all the cars are passing you.
I go through this like every day, because where I park for work, I have to cross one of those awkward stop for pedestrian places. First of all, it's that Miamians are just not used to dealing with pedestrians and cars.
They're the worst.
Okay.
Don't step off the
so
curb.
yeah, like it's
San
bad.
Francisco's a different story.
Like
Down
everywhere's
there,
a different story.
you
Here it's
step
just
off
we're
the
not used to.
curb and-
But honestly, fine, because I have to get to where I'm going, so I just put my foot in. Even if they're going super fast, because I know I have the right. So I put my foot on the road, even if they're going like 50 coming at me. I'm like, you're gonna stop. So I get that they have to have lights.
I'm going for Pecan round
Pecan
2
round
over
two.
here.
handful and put it over there.
Pecans.
I don't know. There's communities up in the Northeast, you know, small communities where you stop for pedestrians, whether there's a crosswalk or not. And I'm kind of for that attitude, you know.
I know.
I mean,
Try it, and
I agree with Austin completely.
When I'm in Bilbao,
I'm an angry driver, by the way. This makes things clear.
No, you never.
when I'm in Bilbao, everybody there knows the law, so it's like pedestrians for sure in the crosswalks. When you're not in the crosswalk, well, watch out.
Yeah.
In the crosswalk, for sure. And the way people stop is amazing. It just feels so good because you're walking. You even want to let them pass, and they already stopped because they know that pedestrians go first. You know? That doesn't happen here, so whatever. Anyway, moving on.
Moving on.
let's talk about the Uber thing.
You want to talk about that? Okay.
Is that talk of the town? Or?
Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
It's all talk of the town by now.
is it Uber or Uber? Because
It's
my parents
Uber.
pronounce it Uber.
It's Uber.
Uber, just like Manny.
So-
You know, go ahead, Rafa. What's going on with that?
Let me just like.
Hang on. Finish your pecans.
Pecans first.
So, the village on Tuesday voted to fund a on-demand village trolleys. They're calling them trolleys, but they're not really trolleys. They're
I
gonna be
call
like golf
it
carts.
La Guaguita.
Yeah, like golf carts. Probably maybe gas. I don't know if there'll be gas ones or those gems or whatever it's gonna be. But there's gonna be 3 of them. They're gonna be on demand, and so there's gonna be an app where you can see where they are, and then you call them over, and then there's gonna be that'll happen a little further down the line. But starting December 1st, you'll be able to text or call these things, and they'll come pick you up and take you to your destination on the key.
For free.
Oh,
For free.
free
Yeah.
of charge?
Yeah.
That is
charge.
amazing.
Yeah.
My son is going to love that.
Tipping
I mean-
optional.
Okay, so some people don't like the idea. Let me tell you what happened to me today. I'm leaving the 7-Eleven. I sat on Harbor, gridlocked with people coming into the 7-Eleven and people trying to circle back into the 7-Eleven. Sat there
They felt
for
intended.
5 minutes. People were honking and stuff.
What
but
time?
it wasn't
Early
moving.
morning?
No, it was like at noon.
Oh, they're all going to Golden Hog, maybe.
People, yeah, just people going in and out. That's what this is meant to alleviate to a certain extent. That I wouldn't take my car. I would take this thing, and then I could get just dropped off like right at the Oasis or whatever, and I could just walk right to 7-Eleven, and then I would avoid this gridlock.
Who are the drivers? Are they cool? Because
good
then I want to
question.
take it.
I think they're gonna go with guy from the Gophers, Michelle from the Gophers.
I don't remember
really?
who he is.
Yeah, he proposed them a whole
You know
plan.
the key gophers, right?
Yeah.
It's these guys who put together this
Yeah.
service for the people that don't know, that you call them and whatever you need at whatever hours, they'll get it for you. They'll
Yeah.
take you to the airport. They'll go pick up a pack of,
Yeah.
thing of milk, whatever.
If you don't know about that service, Google it. It's called Gopher,
Yeah.
with an F.
Key gopher.
Yeah,
I used them a lot at first. Are they still going strong?
they're still going.
They haven't come through with me. Come through for me the last couple
I
times
know.
that I've tried.
I think it's because if you don't do a lot of marketing, you're not gonna be known, and that's it. But anyway, these guys are gonna run the trolleys or the golf carts. They'll be on demand.
3
and
golf carts that the
tentatively-
village is buying.
Tentatively starts December 1st.
And so,
I like that.
you were mentioning something about the app. How's it work? How do you get them, and where do you get that app?
It will start call and text. The app isn't developed yet.
The app isn't ready yet.
Yeah, but then
Call this number, text, pick me up.
exactly,
Okay.
and then from there it'll move to an app.
Well, we've been doing this for years, Rafa, and I mean, you basically, if you have a golf cart on the key, which is just about every other person, you're passing people all the time.
I get rides sometimes.
And I give rides to people all the time. I mean, I put a video up just last week or a couple weeks ago when we talked about this. I picked up 3 domestics, ran them down Harbor Drive from Mashta to the Crandon bus stop, and they were out. And people have seen it, obviously, things, you on Facebook or whatever, but everybody can do that.
Yeah, I've
You know
given
what I
rides
mean?
to people.
So it's like, I mean, when we talk about becoming a pedestrian community and
Yeah.
tapping into our community component, which is proximity and interaction, here's just another way for us to interact with each other and get to know each other.
Exactly,
Sure.
to be on
I
a thing
agree
like
with
this
you, too.
together.
I agree.
So let me tell you something that kind of irked me when I was watching the council meeting about this thing going down. They kept bringing up a criticism, which is who's going to ride, and is it going to be the maids? And I kept thinking to myself, like, what's wrong with the maids riding the thing if they
Right.
want to ride it, Some of us like our maids, and we don't keep them in closets and take their passports. Okay?
Jesus
Um,
Christ.
And I take my maid down to the bus stop whenever I can, and definitely when it's raining or anything like that,
Absolutely.
And if she can get a ride with this thing, hey, it's still a service to me because I'm glad that my maid is having.
Your housekeeper
Yeah.
is part of your family.
Exactly.
Yeah, absolutely.
This
So
criticism.
wait, who was saying that? Why were they saying that? Why is that a problem?
Because they were like thinking, oh, it's only going to be maids thing on this, and that's a problem.
They're here
And it's
every
like-
day. They're
it-
part of this community.
And it's still a service to us residents as
Yeah.
residents.
It's going to be the kids, too, big time.
Yeah, the kids.
It's
the
gonna
kids.
be
Fine.
anyone. I don't. It's a silly idea.
It's proposed that they'll run from 8 to 6, I think, or 8 to 8 on weekdays, and then 12 to 12 on Friday and Saturday.
Oh, nice.
So are they going to expect tips? Is that what somebody said? It'd be a tip thing, or?
I don't think they're gonna expect that. They shouldn't expect a tip from me.
Just to leave it clear, guys. Just so you know.
No, I'm a big tipper now. I
Because
used to not be, but now I am.
Every kid on the key is walking around with a $30 bill in his pocket. Just.
Is there a $30 bill?
Yeah. Yes. I'm not to do a loser lap, obviously.
I'll be using it a lot
Go
because
for it.
I'm always. I'm
When
always out and about.
did you become a big tipper after the Bahamas?
No, the Bahamas, I was already tipping all right. No, I started thinking about, service industry wages and stuff like that. And as much as I would want a system where there's not tipping, like in Europe, and they pay people fairly, well, we don't have that system, so I give big tips now.
Yeah.
You know what I've done is I've just mentalized it, like at the beginning, I know that I'm gonna have to give a big tip. I look at the prices and I already in my head am thinking that, so it helps me so that when the bill comes, I know exactly what it's going to be with the tip, and then it doesn't feel like I'm doing anything extra.
You just have to be careful when that tip is added, and they don't forewarn you, and you add extra tip because you've had a few drinks, and then you add extra, and that sucks.
The corner doesn't add a tip, right?
I think
No.
I don't think they do.
there's something. It's happened.
Man, then that guy got a huge tip last night.
Well, I look forward to this, and I think that I'm not sure what name they're going to call it, but I think we should put a poll up. I like La Guaguita. That's what I call my service.
Mhm.
It doesn't need to be called that, obviously.
That's complicated for people who don't speak Spanish.
Yeah.
It's too complicated.
Yeah, I can just see Frank Kaplan up there being like, La Guida.
La Guida.
No, Ed London. Ed London.
What are those
This
two dots over
Guida
the
going
U?
around.
And 2 dots over the U. I think that's actually the reason why to do it. I think that's.
No good. Is it
Okay,
someone else?
so
I was gonna call
who?
tonight. Talk of the town. The concert tonight.
Oh, okay, yeah, sure.
Yeah.
So I shouldn't go to the next topic?
Go to the next topic. Was it after?
I lost my topics list. Hold on a second.
While he's looking for
I
the
have the
topic,
talk of the town. I have someone that wants to say something.
I was going to propose, why don't we just go to a straight Uber-style app on the key and do ride sharing with golf carts? You know?
Paid?
Yeah, paid. Like if you want to go on with your golf cart and make a few bucks, you
That's
don't
a great
need
idea.
cash. You just,
Wow.
I'll pick you up at the yacht club and take you somewhere for $2.
What are you doing? Nothing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's go. I'm gonna work for a little
And the
while.
amount of 16-year-olds driving around on golf carts,
That is amazing. That's
It's a
like,
thought, but I think there wouldn't be enough, or like they wouldn't be out there when you wanted them.
Yeah.
You think so? You think there'd be enough people out there?
I say just do it for free. Just help your neighbor.
Okay. So one thing that came out, Presbyterian Bayfront Park. Remember we talked about that? Like they're in big negotiations to get the parking lot at the Presbyterian and Bayfront Park.
That's really the next go-to after Sunrise was put to swept under the rug. It was we're gonna do the.
Well, I just want to update you guys that negotiations are at a standstill and nothing's really moving there.
Lame.
Boo.
Okay. So don't get your hopes up for that just yet.
That property is amazing.
I heard that one of the council member talking about there's no view there, and there's mosquitoes, and I was thinking to myself,
So?
okay, yeah, there's mosquitoes, but you can
Everywhere.
figure that out, right? I mean, you get one of these little lamps there, and it works because people have houses, $30 million houses that have the same types of mangroves around them.
Yeah.
Right? And then as far as no view, I'm like, are you kidding me?
Yeah. What?
So I don't get to see downtown? Who cares, man? I'm looking out at the water.
At the water,
and mangroves
absolutely.
And, like,
But wait,
across the bay.
if I'm not mistaken, isn't that part of the master plan that was put up a few years ago?
What, to acquire that property?
Well, yeah, to at least have it as an entry for residents to at least, get to the water.
They've been thinking about that, or like the Weaver lot at the yacht club, or the house next door to the yacht club. By that house, but this would be the cheapest option. They would lease this from the Presbyterian if they could get a decent deal.
Well, the other thing about the Presbyterian is that you start a nice relationship with them, a win-win, and the big issue you didn't mention why it fell apart at the Presbyterian, Rafa, but I think it's worth mentioning.
Conflict of interest, I would assume.
Money?
Yeah.
Well,
the
Presbyterian wanted 3 times, I think, as much as what the lease was for St. Agnes.
Look, the Presbyterian not only wanted the key, only wanted the parking lot at first, and they were going to turn that into fields. The Presbyterian said, no, you can't have just the parking lot. You have to take the parking lot and the waterfront. And if you take the waterfront, it needs a seawall restoration and all this stuff. And then suddenly the prices get really high. And then if St. Agnes sees that the key is paying that much to the Presbyterian and not to them, then they raise their prices. Then everything gets discombobulated.
And in the council meeting last week, they were talking about how some of the one of the themes was, where we want to dissect every deal. We want to dissect every deal and bring it in front of the council, versus letting a council member go out into the community, do what they need to do, work something out, and bring it already ready, right? Like Kaplan brought mast, right? Kaplan brings mast and that whole concept in front of the council, and then all of a sudden, everyone starts talking about it, gets dissected, and for better, for worse, whatever it's worth, the backroom deal doesn't get done.
Okay, you're talking about the fight that happened at the council.
Well,
yeah.
I mean, there was a moment
let's
of
bring that up
unrest.
as a topic, because when we go from one topic to another like that, confuses our listeners.
It's the pecans.
It's not the beer.
So, at the council meeting this week, Mr. De La Cruz got very angry with Dr. Kelly and vice versa. Mr. De La Cruz wanted to talk openly about the deal, and he wasn't in on the deal. Dr. Kelly was negotiating the deal. Dr. Kelly said, look, if we do things like that where we talk about negotiations openly, it's going to screw up the deal. You can't. You bring the final deal to the table. You don't bring the negotiations to the public, because if not, everybody gets an opinion. Suddenly, it just goes out of control, right? Just bring the final one, and then everybody can have an opinion on that final deal, not while you're negotiating. Anyway, this was said in a very stern tone. Mr. De La Cruz almost stormed off because he couldn't respond. The mayor had to calm them all down, telling them, "You're out of order. You're out of order." You should check this out. It's on YouTube.
Were those words used?
Yeah, you're out of order.
No way.
Yeah.
Oh. I gotta
And so after that, everybody calmed down, sat down, whatever. And then they had to have a agenda point in the village, in the meeting. There was already a set agenda for civility in the council meetings.
Later on at 2:05.
Civility and conduct,
At 2:05, one of the agenda items.
Yeah.
And this was at 1:40, 1:38.
Yeah. It's talking about
At
time.
2:05, the agenda item was civility. I didn't realize that.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Yeah.
I did listen to that part where
it was conduct at the meetings, and then Dr. Kelly apologized. Mr. De La Cruz was allowed to
Express his
view kind of about how things are going. He accepted. I think he accepted the apology, but none of those words, and everything kind of calmed down, and everybody was all right. But things are getting heated, and they are getting a little. This isn't the first time they've had these tiffs.
I think it's also a sense of frustration that they have, that they're feeling that they're not being effective. And the mayor talked about their legacy, and that I mean, obviously this doesn't reflect well on the fact that they're arguing, and Dr. Kelly also mentioned, say, look, on my first couple years I was on the council, I had to almost be muzzled. I mean, he admitted it. So it's not an easy situation, but we talk about, missed opportunities. We don't want any more missed opportunities, man. We gotta figure something out to get land while we can. There's never been a time like this before in the history of Key Biscayne where all these land opportunities are coming up.
And so much money.
'Cause getting heated is part of it. I mean, if it's all the time, no, you don't get anywhere. But getting heated gets you somewhere.
Kaplan's work on Mast was the best thing that's happened to the Key in 20 years. Key Biscayne High School. I mean, they've been talking about that since I was in high school, which was more than 20 years ago, by the way.
Okay.
Did I pick on?
Finally,
No,
I want to talk about the drug thing. Drugs on the Key. It's been an issue here on the island ever since our chief of fire and emergency services sounded an alarm that he had picked up. I think it was, we saw the stat, I think it was 66% more drug-related emergency calls. Some of these are
200% more.
200%.
200%?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. 200% more this year than last year. They picked up some heroin overdoses. They were really worried about that. They picked up a lot of alcohol poisoning type things. And so the village decided to have a town hall meeting about drugs and alcohol.
It's actually, I think, under the guise of the Principals Coalition, Rafa. Principals Coalition is the group of principals that put on these talks, intermittent talks.
The drug,
on whatever.
Like DARE?
Yeah. Okay, so they had this talk, and me and Manny actually went. And very good discussion by the chief of police, by the fire department.
They opened with a doctor. What's it called? An epidemiologist or. Call in if you know, Rafa. What's the number?
305-361-8557. He was a addiction specialist, I think is what it is.
Yeah. And he came up with all the stats of what's going on in Florida.
Whatever. He showed us all that stuff.
Yeah.
The presentation was good. I mean, if you don't know about drugs, I would suggest you research it.
But Rafa, I think
there's a heroin epidemic in the country.
He
right
opened
now.
That's what I was going to ask you about Florida.
His first slide for all these. You walk in there. It's in the St. Agnes Parish Hall, and it's full. I mean, Rafa said he counted 100 people. It felt like more than that, but that's a lot of people to come out on a Tuesday night or whatever, 7:00. And this first slide goes up, and it's heroin overdoses, and all the parents are like, "What?
Is it making a comeback, heroin?
Yeah, it's big.
Yeah, it is.
In the whole country, yeah.
Wow.
After the pain pills, everybody's
heroin's a lot cheaper than OxyContin.
But is it like heroin as in like syringes, powder form, or is there like opiates as in oxycodone?
No. The people started OxyContin and these opiate prescription medications were really popular up until 2010. The government kind of cracked down on the pill mills here in Florida and all that stuff. And then heroin shot up because the same people still wanted their fix. Heroin's a lot cheaper than pain pills. It gives the same effect. It's the same type of high. And so now we got that problem. So, well, they gave a good talk. It was I thought it was informative, and not just that, it was balanced, and they tried to not scare anybody. But guess what happened?
It's scary.
All the parents in there were freaking out. Okay? Now let me talk about some of the characters that we saw there. When the question and answer session came up. First is one guy who gets up, and he asks about, he had seen one of the graphs. And he asks about one little blip on a graph. He's like, how come it went up that 1 year? Is there something we need to know, special to really tackle this problem? And this expert, he talks to him a little bit about it, and the guy's not satisfied. He's like, but you didn't answer my question. And me and Manny are sitting there who is this blowhard? Getting all up in this guy's grill who just gave you a presentation over nothing. So there's that guy. That's the first ridiculous person that stood up there. Next, this guy stands up and he says, I've been living here for 2 years. And in 2 years, I already noticed that there's people selling drugs at 7-Eleven, people selling drugs at Sir Pizza. And
he didn't say Sir Pizza. He said the pizza place.
Yeah. And we're looking at each other, me and Manny, what is this guy on about? Nobody's selling drugs at either of those places.
No, but wait.
I've never seen anyone sell drugs at 7-Eleven.
His real point was, I've been living here for 2 years.
You're like, dude.
And how come this is the first time we're talking about it? Remember?
Yeah.
That's what he said. How come this is the first time we're talking about it?
Who is this guy?
I look at Rafa,
Yeah, we're like, what?
and I'm like, I look at the dude, I'm like, first of all, this guy should be standing on top of his chair. Can't even see him. He's been living here for 2 years, and this is the first time, and the chief of police is up there saying, and he's directing this to Chief Press.
Yeah.
And it's a shot to Chief Press, nothing less than a shot to Chief Press. How come this is the first time that we're hearing about this? And Chief was, Chief is the shit. I mean, that guy, he's a good guy. He's a good guy. I have his number. He's an accessible guy, and he's a good guy. And he was very good about his response. He's like, look, I can tell you that we're working our butts off on this, and you may not know everything that's going on, and there's still a lot that we need to do.
But this guy was so naive, because if he thinks that drug dealers are happening at 7-Eleven and Sir Pizza, he's way off. Anybody who's buying drugs is buying them in private, Yeah. That's where drug deals happen. They don't happen in the open. And these kids that are getting into drugs, I hate to tell the parents this, but that crap of the drug dealer pushing it on your kids,
No.
It does not happen like that, okay? It's your kid's friend says, let's smoke, because somebody else told him let's smoke, and then they go to the drug dealer, and then the drug dealer doesn't even pick up his phone because he's an asshole.
So how about
No, listen, drugs has always been a thing in every household. I feel like everybody's gone through it in some way or another. But clearly seeing that the epidemic is, changing within the country, I think obviously that's going to reflect in our community as well, because we see what's getting pushed out there and the trends. So as a community, yes, we have to be aware of what's going on and open our eyes. But it's not like it's our fault that the kids are doing heroin. It's not. It's, we need to tell them what's going on and what's bad about it.
One mom gets up and she says, Chief, what we really need is a curfew.
Oh
and the parents were like, yeah, you hear people sort of clapping. That's a curfew. We need a curfew.
Lady.
And then the chief, she's like, why don't we have a curfew? And then the chief said, actually, there is a curfew. It's 11 o'clock on weeknights.
That's hilarious.
And on Fridays and Saturdays, it's at midnight.
Lady.
And I put my team, my team had the charge to enforced this curfew, and we realized we were bringing kids back to the station and calling their parents, and we couldn't find them.
They weren't home.
They weren't home. We had kids at the station till 3 a.m.
Yeah, that's what he
parents, said. And so
That's funny.
This woman was worried that her 13-year-old was going to go hang out with her friends, who her friends like to, the friends of the 13-year-old like to hang out in the streets, like when you see those little mobs of kids on the streets and stuff like that. But to me, man, that's just like natural, that's hanging out as kids, There could be drugs there and there couldn't be drugs there. There's going to be good kids and there's going to be bad kids. And I think Manny actually got up. He had a thing there when he got up. And he said the most sober thing in the whole situation. It's basically talk to your kids about these things.
Talk to your kids.
Make sure you
be open about it.
I said, listen, I said, you know what I'm going to do with Eric Lang? And I got up and this is what I said. We're going to have my son, who's 16, and a bunch of his friends come over. We're going to grill up a little bit, have a little dinner, whatever, and sit there and we're not going to come up and say, put a first slide up and say heroin deaths are up 200%.
No.
Key Biscayne. Or we're not going to put all these different stats on addiction and the time that you start smoking, how it correlates to whether or not you will be messed up in life. If you start earlier, you're messed up. If you start later, your chances are less likely.
Way less likely.
Way less likely. All these great stats. Yeah. We're not going to open with that. We're going to open with like, hey, what's going on? How do you like your burger? And then open the conversation to what's going on
so talk to them
in
like
their world.
People,
and then pose a question and then just shut up and listen.
Yeah.
And listen to one and then stay quiet and let the other one respond. And then because we talk about Facebook and the gram and all that other social media stuff, it's people talking. They can't stop talking and sharing, So let them share and then tie it back to, hey, do you know the stats here? Did you realize that if you start at this age, Yeah,
with alcohol, it was like, man, you start at 14, and the chances that you're going to have a problem later in life are so high.
Yeah.
Really?
Anyway, but what you could do when you're doing this little barbecue thing is you pass around a little dew, and everybody relaxes.
I don't know about that.
I don't think that's going to happen.
I don't know about that.
I was going to say, talking about drugs, heroin is scary stuff, even just thinking about it. But from our perspective, what alcohol and weed, weed's basically almost a legal drug by now. I think you have to take a different approach on that, right? Because we all use alcohol and a lot of us use marijuana. But one of the shocking things to me when I moved back to Miami was the prevalence of Molly. I didn't know what it was, and it was all over the place. So, that was scary to me, just seeing that. So I think, talking about drugs is one thing. It's different about, breaking it up.
But I think so. I remember my parents when I was 14, 15. You have to be open about talking. But that the kids are going to drink. That they might try smoking pot. Talk about it. Don't do it. These are the stats. That doesn't relate to them, and they're not going to get scared from the stats. They're just going to say, okay, whatever.
I told my kids, or my older kids, not the little one yet, but. And if you're listening, turn the radio off right now, turn your podcast off. But I told them, I said, listen, you can smoke weed every day. And some people do and they function. Some people do and they can't. They can't function. Some people do, because in reality, in their world, like you said, Austin, that's going to be legal. I said, but first of all, it's not legal right now, so you can't do it at all. And second of all, once it is legal, like drinking is legal now. You can't do it till you're 21. So, and it gets back to Rafa to that that screen, that shot, that slide of when you start. And the propensity for problems and addiction later on down the road. I don't want my kids to be alcoholics or to be potheads. Raise your hand if you do.
Yeah, nobody does.
Nobody does.
No one's raising their hand.
Nobody wants to be that.
Yeah, by the way, no one's raising their hands here.
There are actually no parents in the room either.
No, it's just you.
That's true, but still.
But we can all agree on that,
Okay.
And so, but your approach is right, Austin, in terms of being open and communicating, and being realistic,
and then try and explain to them too, like the different I suppose like the effects too, because man, some of these drugs are just more addictive, and you don't want to sound like dire, but just explain to them the difference in severity of different drugs and stuff like that, because just so they get an understanding of what they're getting into. You know, when we were in high school, the opiates weren't big, like the pain pills, but the anti-anxiety pills were really big. The Xanax and lesser Valium. Xanax was really popular. And Xanax, if you get dependent on Xanax, you can't quit cold turkey. If you quit cold turkey, you could have a seizure. You know, nobody knew this stuff. Like nobody knew any of this stuff and how addicting it was. Because then there was few of them who got addicted later in life. And they just didn't know. They thought it was, you know, they treated it too casually because they had no idea about the pharmacology of these things. So I don't know how you explain that to them, but it should, if they have that kind of knowledge, at least if they try it or if they're tempted to try it, they at least have a little bit more knowledge. I don't know. One thing I did want to talk about is that the Key set up the Key Biscayne Police, an anonymous tip line where you can report drug dealers.
Well, we talked about it. Yeah.
Okay, so this is a line. It goes straight to Chief Press's office, and he says that you can call it *67, whatever. You just say something, and they'll try and follow up on that tip. Okay. So what I was thinking was we call it on the show, and we leave a little tip right now.
No.
Yeah, I think we should.
No.
Oh, it'll be so funny.
No.
But we don't want to mess with their system, man.
We're on their side.
I want to make a phone call, though. Oh, Rafa's making a phone call.
Jeez.
Welcome to Callin Oates, your emergency Hall Oates helpline. To hear when the morning comes, please press 1.
Hall Oates helpline.
To hear you make my dreams, please press 2.
Amazing. Very nice.
We're all like worried. We're like, don't mess with the system. And Rafa's
Manny almost
playing.
crapped his pants.
We're all looking at each other like, oh my god, don't do this.
You got to play the whole song. I thought you were going to say you're going to play.
Callin Oates hotline.
Guys, can I make a real call? There's someone that, you know.
Okay,
Yeah,
wait, one last thing.
quickly.
So that thing, that
Real call.
the snitch line is that
the narc line, yeah. The snitch line.
So if you want to call it, I mean, it's in the newspaper. I don't have the number on me right now, but so all that stuff is happening right now. They're kind of on a witch hunt. So I would be, you know, I don't know how to say be cautious without sounding like I'm enabling drug use, but I would just say, you know, just be very aware that tensions are heightened on the island.
And that eyes are open, huh?
Yeah. So Anna, you have somebody that you want to talk to on the radio?
Yes, it's for Talk of the Town. It's for something happening tonight. And he wants to announce it. Hey, Andres, you're live on the air.
Awesome. Jingle tonight, 8 p.m. I'm going to play everything in English and Spanish from the 60s to today. I hope to see you there. Thank you so much.
Hell yeah. What instruments are you playing, Andres?
I'm going to play the guitar and the piano, a keyboard.
Nice. Okay, so Keyhole, 8 p.m. 8 to 10, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Awesome. Thank you.
Very much.
Bye.
Bye.
All right, Keyhole, 8
Keyhole
o'clock.
after this, guys.
So what's this guy? How do you know him?
Andres is the editor-in-chief of Doral magazine, and he lives on the Key. And I guess he plays music. I didn't know that until today when we did some work together earlier today.
You better go tonight, Anna.
Huh?
You better go tonight.
We're all going together, Manny.
All right.
I told him I'd bring my radio crew out
Can
there.
Chico go?
Yes, it's the Keyhole.
All right.
All right, so we're kind of over time. Do we have an overtime jingle?
We started late, didn't we?
Oh yeah, we did start late.
Can we talk more?
Yeah, I guess we can. Would you guys have anything on the agenda? Any news items you want to talk about? Anybody?
Yeah, I got one.
Yeah.
So, I was watching the council meeting, and one of the main things that was mentioned, well, not a main thing, a small thing, but some of the council members noticed that when they're coming in on the Key, a lot of people try to, when they get to the light on Harbor and Crandon, a lot of people go through the back streets to try to avoid the red light.
You mean the back streets being La Carreta?
And they go through
parking lots.
Right. And
That's illegal.
it's illegal.
Yeah.
So this is pretty much, everybody that's listening, if there is anybody, be aware that the police is going to be focusing on making a change where they will be giving out tickets.
Is that why they closed the space behind La Carreta to the Golden Hog? Because I was there today, and the gate was closed.
I went through it today without any problems.
Right when I was on my way here, it was closed.
And I think they saw you coming. I think you were one
So
of
that's
the
a heads up
perpetrators.
for all the people that decide to just veer and not go through the red light as legally you should.
Maybe they closed it for rush hour. I mean, it makes sense that they would do that. It's easier than patrolling that area. You just close it.
Yeah, just close it. I only use that when I'm going to Golden Hog, and which makes sense. Or if I'm going, I live in Key Colony. If I'm leaving Golden Hog, why am I going to do a loop-de halfway down Harbor? That's exaggerated.
So heads up, Key Biscayne residents, they will be giving out tickets.
I don't.
That's a great tip.
Yeah,
I don't want
to.
I don't want to be I wonder if they really will give out tickets, because I say this because there are certain things that they kind of just think they kind of just don't enforce. Even when they get told to enforce them, they don't enforce. Like, we're getting that crosswalk thing, the button and the light and stuff like that. But today, I slowed for a pedestrian crossing a crosswalk, and a bunch of other people didn't, and there was a cop watching the whole thing. He didn't do anything about it, They don't, even though it says slow, yield, all this stuff, they don't, it seems like traffic, like here in Florida, where we have notoriously bad traffic, everybody makes fun of it all the time. South Florida, how bad the driving is, blah, blah, blah.
No one puts signals.
It seems like there's not enough resources to really go after all these little infractions that happen constantly. People go over double white lines all the time. People don't yield for pedestrians. People don't signal. Yeah, they don't signal for anything, even though, I mean, it's supposed to be required.
They don't use the left lane as the passing lane.
People don't stop on the crosswalk.
Or bicyclists that don't follow the same rules as cars.
So I do wonder, but maybe they closed the gate to do that. I mean,
I've seen someone get pulled over when coming into the queue on Crandon. They don't want to wait for that red light to pass, so they go through the gas station.
Yeah.
And I've seen someone get pulled over, and I'm like, aha. Because that's, let's all do that. No, we can't all do that, because then it becomes a street.
I think you can risk it if you want to get a ticket. I ran that Rickenbacker toll for 5 straight years because I realized they don't give you a ticket for doing it.
I did that too.
Really?
Yeah, me too. I didn't renew for like 5 years until the C-Pass.
I did.
Yeah.
What rebels?
They never sent
Did
any.
it go up?
I mean, your heart starts pounding every time you go through, but it's worth it. It's a good rush.
Anything.
Feels good.
I did IOUs for a while, but they never collected on those either.
That's funny.
But about that thing, here's the thing. What about like plausible deniability? It's like, oh, I thought I was going to pick something up at the snack shop, and then I didn't want it.
The snack shop.
Well, what they did mention was that they would have 2 cops. One in the beginning, one on the end.
There's one thing we need to talk about. When you pass the toll,
It's hard to lie to cops. I mean,
it is hard to lie to cops. But okay, when you're passing the toll, coming into the queue, that stupid left merge lane that wasn't like that before is kind of a high risk little situation. How the hell am I supposed to merge in like 2 seconds? And like, that's not a good thing. I don't know who decided that. I don't like it. Road rage with Anna.
why are you looking at Manny like he decided?
Because he doesn't like my road rage.
I don't like it either.
Oh, okay, you don't like it either?
No. But
it's wrong.
I like your animation.
Can I tell you a little loophole that I do? Is how
side?
you can't make a U-turn at Key Colony, right?
Oh, I do that all the time.
Don't give them ideas, Rafa.
I go in like I'm going into Key Colony, and then I make a U-turn right there.
Oh, I just make the U-turn.
And I just say, "Oops!" If anything ever happened, I would. There's plausible deniability. I could be going to visit you guys, or I just decided I don't want to go in.
Because there's no U-turn there, so you're just going through the gate.
Yeah, I go to the
right before the gate. You can turn around, right
before the gate you can make a U-turn. Not on the guest side, on the other side.
Right.
You can make a little U-turn, and that's what I do.
Nice.
And that's a tip for you guys. Hopefully, no one's listening. I mean, no, the brazen Annas of the world are just going to make a U-turn either way.
I make the U-turn. I just look if there's a cop. If there's no cop, I make
Truth be told, Anna's car is tiny. It's a little mini Cooper.
You can make that U-turn. There's no problem.
Almost like a bike. Almost. It's like what? I can't U-turn my bike around here? Is that what you're telling me?
I like how my car became a bike. Down.
All right. Well, next week we're gonna have hopefully Anna's segment will come back of the hair salon.
Yeah, I don't.
mill.
Did I mention the Lebanese place last time already?
Yeah.
Damn it. Well, I have mom gossip.
All right.
She told me that Stefano's is opening a bar next door.
That's good.
Where, at the fish place?
Yeah.
I guess it's
The fish place closed?
Probably.
Yeah, it was never
She
gonna
said
work.
that they're making a little bar, and yeah, mom gossip.
Bring on the bars.
Bring on the bar, more bar
Rafa,
hopping.
add
We
it
called
to
it
your-
the Loafers.
To your bar trail. Key Biscayne bar night. Bar hopping.
And call the Key Biscayne Uber and just go bar hopping.
Boom.
Boom.
Exactly.
Friday nights.
perfect.
Every Friday night.
One thing I did want to say, which is like I'm just posing it as a question to you guys, is like I want to do man on the street segments for this show. I would love to get together either on Thursdays right after the show, Tuesdays after work, and go to like Winn-Dixie, sit there at the exit and ask people questions
I'm down.
and record them. It could take us like half an hour, maybe something like
That would
that.
be so easy to do because, I mean, we know everybody.
We put on our Rat Radio hats.
Yeah.
And we give them, we do a little thing, and
I think you'd have to pretend like you have a live mic and just record it. Anyway, on the phone. You know?
Yeah.
So they
Rafa,
think
I think that's
they're
a
live on the radio.
Then we'll play it on the show. We'll come on here and we'll talk about it and play.
Yeah, I'll
record
edit it down so that it sounds nice,
I
and
think
we'll
that's
play
a great idea.
Yeah.
I think that could be so easy, and we can go all over town. We can get the chamber involved, so they can have us come to their place, and we can have some apps and some, whatever.
Just something that we could do every week.
We can actually start a food critic type thing. We'll show up and we'll get comp for dinner and stuff. Rafa, I think you're onto something.
We want more pecans.
So you guys like free next Tuesday, or?
Right before the corner.
Yeah, exactly.
Count me in.
100%.
Okay, cool. So let's do that. And the other thing I was thinking, I was like, oh, but I can just do this myself, you know? But if I go out there looking like freaking half Jesus, half, all disheveled as I look, I
put
think
your
people
hand
won't
up
want
high.
to talk to me. So we need somebody.
We need talent.
If it's me and Griff, we look like Jehovah's Witnesses. or
Yeah, that
something,
would've been
but
so
not
good.
the
I'm
opposite.
pretty personable.
The opposite.
It could take me.
Yeah, and so that's why I was asking you guys instead of just doing it myself.
I'll do it. I'll bring my dog, and most people know him, so we'll definitely have some.
Most people know you too.
Well, the dog and the golf cart is what they know.
Yeah.
Cool.
So, Raf, what's new on Rat Radio as far as music?
Oh, that's right. So we're gonna do the
Yeah.
I revamped. We're gonna do a thing where we change the music at night, even though the radio usually shuts off at night. That we hope to alleviate soon. So I'm trying to cook up a playlist that after 6 o'clock, there's no slow songs on the playlist, and then after that, it's gonna be like more upbeat, even more upbeat. Not just no slow songs. It'll be only like upbeat stuff on Fridays and Saturdays. And now we got Griff's show, the Jazz Hour with Donnie Griff, and he's already set that up, so that'll be running this week. And I'm not sure about the
Nice,
time.
I like it.
I'm about to set it up
Yeah.
right now after this show. I'm not sure what time we're going to do it at, but I'm thinking mid-afternoon, because if we put it too late, like after the shows they play at 6, and we have this at 6:30, then it might not even run all the way through. Sometimes the radio shuts off. So I'm thinking
There you go, Jonathan.
4 o'clock or
Yeah, a
something
little
like
afternoon
that.
delight.
Exactly.
Afternoon delight.
That's what he wanted to call it.
Aw.
That's what he wanted to
That's
call
what
it.
he wanted. We
But
shut him
didn't let
down.
We didn't
shut
let
him
him.
Anyways,
down.
this
We
is
could do
just-
a vote. We could do a vote
This is
online.
just the beginning,
We don't
it's
like
just
it.
Did Gatto come up with that name?
No,
No,
this
that
is
was
just
purely
this is a
Jonathan,
new
and we said
segment.
no.
We're gonna try it out.
She's cooler than that.
We'll be changing up the
I think that's a
playlist
great
as we
name.
Oh, we don't
go.
like it.
We'll be changing the
time.
playlist a little bit as we go. But yeah, it's something new. It's going to be jazz, a little bossa nova, and with time we'll add more genres and more music. And hopefully you guys listen.
And the other thing I got was there's these playlists that Grant always used to send me, and I remembered them the other day. It's called Reverb Nation, and they make these 10-song lists. It's only half an hour, and they all flow. And it's contemporary music, and then some old stuff, and it all flows really nice. And I've just begun to download them, and I'm going to play them on the radio with a little intro that says that you're listening to the Reverb Nation.
Oh, I thought you said Bieber
Mix.
Nation.
Reverb.
Believers.
Reverb.
Not gonna
Anyway.
lie. No, but everybody's talking about how good Bieber's album is.
He's coming
That's
down
the mainstream
in
press,
July.
man.
I know.
Come on, Anna.
They all talk about the
Hello,
same
I give
thing.
the most indie music ever. I know.
They all talk about the same
rap.
thing. But anyway, these shows will go on, and I'm not sure what time I'll play that. Maybe like at 3 o'clock, right before the jazz or something like that. And I'm gonna set this up right now. And so yeah, you might hear a little different thing here on the radio.
Hang on, someone's at the door. We better get out of here.
Yeah.
Hey, let's get out of here, Rafa. Let's sign off and play your little sign out tune.
What's your
Okay.
sign-off music?
Download your tunes.
That's okay. So thanks for listening. Oh, that's the other thing I got to mention. RatRadio.net, where you can hear the shows. Go to Facebook, Google Facebook Rat Radio. You'll find us there. You guys need to share the shows, please, because we don't get any listeners
My
because
bad.
nobody shares
Someone
them.
made me an admin. all
Okay,
of a sudden.
please. I
Yeah,
took
me
you guys
too.
off admins because you
What?
guys got confused with that. Just share them on your personal accounts, please. Do it.
Yeah.
You know, if you go into Facebook, you can even share them just with Key Biscayner's, but you'd have to tinker a little bit. Either way, share them, get them out there. Facebook Rat Radio. The show replays every day, every weekday at 6, except for Fridays because nobody wants to listen to talk radio at 6 o'clock on a Friday. And we're live Wednesdays at 6:30.
Ish.
That's the show. Thank you very much. Thank you to the panel.
Thank
You guys are always great. I love you guys being here.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Thank you guys for having me tonight.
Hell
Yeah.
yeah, Austin. You guys,
Austin.
you got to come back out here whenever
Yeah,
you
man.
can, man.
And thank you, Pecan Lady. Huh?
I almost wore that
Oh,
shirt
yes, of
off.
course.
Thank you, Pecan Lady.
These
please.
pecans, I've been eating them the whole time. I have to
Yeah.
move my mouth away from the microphone because I'm crunching and crunching.
Chewing.
It's so good. So a little jingle to get us out of here. Can I think of one? I don't know. That's the show. Tune in next week. Bye.